I am lying. Well, that's not very nice, said Annika, who had finally gathered up courage to speak. Well, yes, it is a lie, said Pippi, but I forget it now and then, and how can you expect a little child whose mother is an angel and whose father is the king of the cannibal island and who herself has sailed on the ocean all her life, how can you expect her to tell the truth always? And for that matter, she continued, her whole freckled face lighting up, let me tell you that in the Congo, there is not a single person who tells the truth. They lie all day long. They begin at 7 in the morning and they keep on lying until the sun goes down. So, if I should happen to lie now and then, you must try to excuse me and to remember that that is only because I stayed in the Congo a little bit too long. Can we be friends? Anyway? Oh, sure, said Tommy, and realized suddenly that this was not going to be one of those dull days. By the way, said Pippi, why couldn't you come and have breakfast with me? Why not, said Tommy. Come on, let's go. Oh, yes, let's go, said Annika. But first I must introduce you to Mr. Nielsen, said Pippi, and the little monkey took off his cap and bowed most politely. Then they all went in through Villa Vellicula's tumble-down garden gate, along the gravel path, bordered with old moss-covered trees. They were really good climbing trees. Up to the house and onto the porch. Oh, well, you know who lives on the porch. Remember who lives on the... I don't even know the horse's name. So the horse lives on the porch. That must be the porch horse. Porch horse. Oh, don't say that many times fast. Porch horse. See? Now I'm stuck on saying that. The porch horse. Oh, Steffi, stop. Okay. There stood the horse, munching oats out of a soup bowl. Excuse me, said Tommy. Why do you have a horse on your porch? A porch horse. All horses he knew lived in stables. Well, said Pippi thoughtfully, he'd be in the way in the kitchen, and he doesn't like it in the parlor, and he can't really come up the stairs into the bedrooms. So that just leaves the porch. Tommy and Annika patted the horse and then went into the kitchen. It had a kitchen, a parlor, and a bedroom. But it certainly looked as if Pippi had forgotten to do her Friday cleaning that week. I guess Tommy and Annika do cleaning every Friday. I guess some houses do that. So I don't think Pippi's going to be somebody who cleans on a certain day of the week, because she doesn't have parents to kind of ask her to do it, and maybe she wouldn't think to do it. And she's having too much fun with her monkey, and horses, they can't really clean very well because they just have hooves. So Tommy and Annika looked around cautiously, just in case the king of Cannibal Island might be sitting in the corner somewhere. They had never seen a cannibal king in all their lives, and they didn't even know what they were looking for. Excuse me, said Annika. Do you live here all alone? Of course not, said Pippi. I've Mr. Nielsen, my monkey, and the horse. Yes, but I mean, don't you have any mother or father? Oh, no, not the least bit of a tiny little bit of a mother or a father, said Pippi happily. But, who tells you when to go to bed at night and things like that, said Annika. Well, I tell myself, said Pippi. First, I tell myself in a really friendly way, Pippi, it's time to go to bed. Then I don't really listen because I still want to keep playing or reading or drawing or doing handstands. So then it's getting a bit late. So I say to myself, Pippi, it's time to go to bed. And sometimes I still don't listen to myself because I'm having so much fun. So I have to actually speak to myself quite sharply. Pippi, it's time to go to bed. Oh, okay, I say to myself, I better go to bed. I'm a little bit cross with myself. So off I go to bed. Tommy and Annika didn't understand that at all because that wasn't the kind of life that they had, but they found it very, very curious. And meanwhile, they had come into the kitchen. And Pippi said, I'm going to make you pancakes. So she took 3 eggs and threw them up into the air. One fell on her head, boop, and broke so the yolk ran into her eyes. And the others she caught skillfully in a bowl. And they smashed to pieces in the bowl. So there she was with egg in her eyes, but she caught 2, and she's perfectly happy about that. I always did hear that egg yolk was good for the hair, said Pippi, wiping her eyes. You wait and see. Mine will soon begin to grow so fast it will crackle. And as a matter of fact, in Brazil, I think she's going to tell us a tall tale, don't you think? In Brazil, all the people go about there with eggs in their hair, and there are no bald-headed people there. Okay, so there's no woolly willies. There might be some bald-headed eagles, but they're not bald. But apparently, according to Pippi in Brazil, there are no bald-headed people. Only once there was a man who was so foolish that he ate his eggs instead of rubbing them on his hair, and he became completely bald. And when he showed himself on the street, there was such a riot that the police were called out. Now, while she was speaking, Pippi had neatly picked the eggshells out of the bowl with her fingers. And now she took a bath brush that hung on the wall and began to beat the pancake batter so hard it splashed all over the wall. And at last she poured what was left onto a griddle that stood on the stove. When the pancake was brown on one side, she tossed it halfway up to the ceiling so that it turned right around to the air, and then she caught it on the griddle again. And when it was ready, do you know what she did? When it was ready, she threw it straight across the kitchen, right onto the table where the plate was waiting for it. Kaboom, kaboom. She's magic. I love her. Eat, she cried. Eat before it gets cold. Tommy and Annika ate and thought it was a very good pancake. And that is where I'm going to end today. So thank you very much for joining me. And my battery has not run out on my phone today. Thank you for joining me in my nest. Thank you for being there in your nest. And I'm sending you lots of chirps and feathers and fairy wishes and owl hoots and more feathers and especially bald eagle wishes for your day. And I'll see you tomorrow.